Hi everyone, this is Nikki Rowland and today I have a layout for GoGo Getaway as part of our Christmas Bonanza Cybercrop that was held in December. My challenge was a colour scheme and it was on the festive day. So we had a festive day and a non-festive day, just in case people didn't want to do Christmas scrapbooking. But of course you could interpret these challenges in any way you wanted to anyway, so completely up to you. So anyway, my one was a festive colour scheme and the colours were very closely matched to crepe paper Hey Santa, but I wanted to use this fabulous Merry Grinchmas cut file by Paige Evans for my layout. So I had to introduce a small amount of lime green as well into this layout because of the Grinch face. But otherwise I've used all the colours in the colour scheme. And then of course added a couple of my own as well, so all good. So anyway, I'm going to spend some time backing this cut file. So I really struggled to find lime green paper. I've been through my entire stash looking for options and there were very few options. The best one I had was the Dear Lizzie paper, but I only had a tiny piece. There was just no way I could make that work. And then this was another option, which is just a plain piece of cardstock. But I wanted it to have a pattern on, ideally. So this was my backup, but I wanted to have a pattern. So I found a piece of lime green paper with different Christmassy coloured spots on. You can see there it was a collection from last year. It was Simple Stories Say Cheese Christmas. I didn't quite have enough of it to manage his face, so I've had to patch it, and there's an area that will have another piece behind it. So there is a line that you can see on the finished one, but only if you look closely, and if I hadn't told you about it you probably wouldn't have noticed. Well, you probably would because you're going to watch the video, but that was how I managed to get around that, because my piece was big enough but it just wasn't big enough for one piece. Does that make sense? So I had extra bit, but not one whole piece to back that cut file, the face anyway. So I was just about to stick on the face, and then I realised that I needed to back some of the other details before I put the lime green on. So I needed to do his nose, I needed to do his eyes, I needed pupils for the eyes in black, and then I wanted whites for the eyes, for the white bits, and I wanted just a plain green for his nose. Looking at this now, I probably should have gone a shade darker for his nose, but I didn't. I've just gone for the plain lime green. And then I've done his whole face. There you go. You can see there that I've got a bit on the left hand side that is not fitted, so I've just had to redo that, so do an extra piece with my paper, because I really wanted to use this paper. This was definitely the best paper I found. I know the Grinch doesn't traditionally have spots on his face, but perhaps he's got chickenpox today, right? Okay, so that is my Grinch cut file. Just spending some time backing it now. I don't normally make people watch me back cut files because it's really quite boring, but I just wanted to talk you through that bit and why I had to do that. And also, if you have a perfect paper but not quite enough of it, it's not the end of the world. You can piece it together and probably no one will notice. So for the fluffy part of the Grinch's hat and the pom-pom on the end of his hat, I wanted to have those glittered. Now I do have white glitter paper, but I find it really hard to stick anything to. Nothing seems to stick to it, so I find that my backed cut files tend to fall apart, or things fall off of them. So what I decided to do instead was back it in white, and I've just gone for a plain white piece of cardstock, just plain and not even textured. Back those two in white, and then I'm going to put glue all over them and then cover those completely in white iridescent glitter. So I figured that it comes up with the same effect. It's slightly more work, but actually it isn't, because I can back the cut file really easily in white and then add the glitter quite easily, whereas when I try and back it in the glitter paper, it just continuously falls off, so I'm constantly having to re-stick it, put weights on top of it, that kind of thing. So actually this was a quicker option and it totally gave the same effect as well. So you can see that that's what I've just done there, and that's why I wanted to show you, but I couldn't get onto that bit until I'd done the rest of the face and everything else. So now I'm going to do his hat. So I'm going to do that off camera, and the letters as well. I'll do that off camera so that you're not too bored. There you go, all done, just like magic. I actually did the letters. I found it really hard because I'm backing this cut file manually. I haven't done this on my machine. I'm backing it manually. I actually cut the letters to the square sizes of the letter itself and stuck it, and then I trimmed around with my scissors. I found that easier than to draw around each letter and try and cut all the bits out before I stuck, because I quite often find when I'm backfilling, I end up having to trim anyway. So I just thought this occasion I might give it a go and just like over back, make the pieces too big, and then just trim with the scissors, and that worked really well for this one. Okay, so I wanted to bring in some pattern paper onto the background for this layout. Even though the Grinch showed up so well on the white, he did look great, but I just wanted to bring in some pattern for the background. So I've taken this piece of Cocoa Vanilla Studio Merry and Bright paper. I've cut a giant star from the middle from using my silhouette, and now I'm just going to back that onto white card. Now what I'm doing is I'm sticking flat around the edges. Sorry, I just knocked the camera there, and I have put foam pads around the edges of the star, so that I have some dimension where the cutout is, so I have almost forming an aperture or a pocket effectively. Sorry, my little one has just joined us for this dictation, so we may have to turn off in a minute, and I might have to go and bribe him with Peppa Pig. We'll see how we go. Okay, so I'm now sticking my cut file to my background. He's going to kind of sit in that star, and then I'm going to add my photo of my boy. So this photo I just love. This is my boy Max, who is 7, doing an impression of the Grinch, and he's captured him really well, I feel. The pout and the grumpy look and the frown. It's just brilliant. Max absolutely loves the Grinch movie. It's his favourite movie. We watch it all year round, even when it's not Christmas, and he knows most of the words to the movie, so yeah, it's definitely a big deal in our house. So as soon as I saw Paige's Merry Grinchmas cut file, I had to have that on a layout. I had to do a layout about that. So anyway, I'm just added my photo. I've backed it with a piece of Hey Santa paper. Oh, by the way, the hat is backed with Hey Santa as well, and some of the letters are backed with Hey Santa as well. Yeah, I'm just adding in some other embellishments. Right, okay, sorry, my little boy's getting noisy now. I'm just going to move him. I'll be back in one tick. Okay, he is sufficiently entertained for a few minutes at least. Okay, so I'm just now embellishing this layout. So obviously I have quite a lot going on with the photo and the big cut file and the star background already, and I wasn't quite sure what I should add to this. I just played around with a few embellishments to see how things looked. So I love the little car with the Christmas tree on top. That's from Hey Santa. I've put that at the bottom left of my photo, and then I'm just going to build around there. I've got a ticket that says Christmas Magic December Admit 1, Merry Christmas label. I've got a gift and a bauble and a flower. So a number of different things around the corner of the photo. Obviously I can't put many embellishments over on the right hand side because I've got the Grinch in the way. Yeah, I think the left hand side is probably the best place for it, but I didn't want to overwhelm the layout because I've already got a lot going on here already. So I'm just adding to that little corner there. I'm now adding some foliage, some holly leaves, and there's a long flower sticker that I've added there as well. Yeah, so just going to keep adding. I think I added candy cane there too. Oh, sorry, my little boy's joined us on camera now. I can't get rid of him today. Okay, and then yeah, so I'm just carrying on trying to figure out what I can put where, seeing if I can build up these little layers a bit more. I'm pretty happy with how that's looking, but I do feel like it needs something at the bottom. then went off and went through my Bramble Fox stash. So I was really excited to find, after saying recently I haven't got much Bramble Fox perspectives around because I use them all, and I really do. I really use most of my perspectives that I receive. I don't have a big stash of them at all. What I did find was an entire box of previous year's Christmas things. So not loads, but just a few bits and pieces that I hadn't used last year, the year before, and possibly even the year before that. So I was delighted to find these little trees. So I've got a turquoise one and a pink one, which went perfectly with today's colour scheme. So I've put those at the bottom, and I also found some festive stars. So they are glittery stars. So I had red ones and gold ones. Some are open stars and some are solid. So I've added those, some to the left and some to the right as well. So over to the right, I've kind of gone just below where it says where the word Christmas ends, and I figured a few little stars there would be okay. I'm now adding in my journaling. It's obviously going to go in the middle section where the star is white, so I've got something to write on, and I have used my ruler for this just because I didn't want it to be all higgledy-piggledy. So yeah, I've just done a few lines of journaling in there, and yeah, nearly done now. I'm just going to add some gold twine, some gold twiddles. So I'm going to put some under the bauble to the left of my photo. And then I thought, I should go and put some over on the right hand side of the layout, but actually there was nowhere really to put it because I didn't want it just to be poking out from under the Grinch. It needed to come out from under an embellishment. So instead of having an area on the left and an area on the right, I added the gold twine underneath the holly, underneath where the car is. So I have two twiddles of gold there, but they are in not where I would normally put them. I would normally have one on the left and one on the right in different places, but I have two just underneath each other there. But I think it works. I think it looks good. I like the little whimsical twiddles poking out, so I'm happy with how that looks. I'm just coming in now with a few sequins. I went through my Spiegel Mum Scraps sequins sets to find Christmassy ones, and I did find this one. It doesn't have a name on it, so I don't know what set it is, but it's old. It's from a few years ago. And I've just liberally sprinkled some sequins on the cluster on the left, and then a few around by the stars on the right as well. I didn't want to go crazy with sequins here because obviously this is not an embellishment cluster around here, it's just a few stars. So just a few sequins around there, just gluing those in place now with some glossy accents. And now I'm going to add a few splatters of gold, minor 49er Inklings Shimmers paint, and that is me done. So yeah, all done there. I really enjoyed this layout. I was so excited with the Grinchmas cut file that I just had to dive in and use it, and I love the colours on the colour scheme for the GoGo challenge today. Okay, so thank you so much for joining me today. That was Nikki Rowland for GoGo Getaway.